You are now listening to Fight Life Unfiltered. That was an exciting weekend.
Yeah, it was.
What'd you think of Salamanca?
It was nice, dude. It was beautiful. When we went to go cut weight the uh Thursday morning, we were driving to like the sunrise in the mountains. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like that area. I'm definitely gonna live in the mountains at some point in my life. I love that area.
Cheap place to live.
Is it?
Oh, dude, I grew up. I mean, now it's different, but if you had $100,000 home, you were like really rich.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
shit was so cheap, but people don't make a lot of money up there. It's super depressed. It was a really wealthy area back in like the late 1800s because of oil. And as that slowly just dissipated, and it's like a lot of the other like towns in Ohio, manufacturing left. Zippo
Yeah.
is there
Yeah, I
still.
saw Zippo. We passed it when we were going there, and I was like, Zippo, that makes sense because Justin works there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was cool, man. I like the little area. Hopefully get to fight there again. The hotel's super nice,
Hmm.
casino's super nice, everything's clean. LFA did a great job of taking care of everything, and it was a great experience.
Yeah, what was that like fighting now
I mean,
at the next level?
it's the next level, right? It's more professional, right? And that's not anything to like 247 or whoever I fought for before. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's just the next level. Like even the commission, everything's just right, like everything's stacked up. Different types of media. Like I did a weighed in, and then I'm doing interviews. And social media stuff right after, right? And they do it like 2 hours after, so you have time to hydrate and stuff. And then, it's just very professional. Sitting down, you're having a talk with the people that are going to commentate your fights. They kind of have a background on you. It's Gilbert Melendez and
Dude, Aljo
Aljo was there.
there,
Yeah, he
did
didn't
he?
commentate mine, no. But he was in the back with me, and he watched my fight. He was right in front. Of my family watching the fight,
Hmm.
which is pretty sick. But yeah, he was there. Big names. It draws in tons of people, and it was yeah, it was a dope experience, bro.
Dude, even a cameo with your vocals there at the end.
That was at the beginning.
Oh, that
So
was so that was beforehand.
so I did it beforehand,
Oh, no shit. Okay.
and they were like, "Hey, can you like do a thing for Fight Pass?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna like a Seibert. I'll be making my LFA debut tomorrow." And then they were like, "Okay. Do you want to add anything?" And I was like, I don't know what to say. Right. And they were like, dude, how about you add something with WV wrestling? And I was like, I don't know how I can just naturally put that in. That makes no sense. And then Mike was like, sing Country Roads. And I was like, okay. So I did it. And they thought it was hilarious. But I think because I said tomorrow, like my LFA debut tomorrow, they didn't put it in because they were gonna air it like that day.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, that was like a funny little clip, so let's do it again.
Hmm.
I came back and they were like, everybody was joking about it. They were like, hey, we heard you singing, like all the LFA people. So I was like, fuck it, I'll do it again. After I won, it was cool doing all the media and shit. It was
Yeah.
dope. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna ask if you felt like it made a difference as far as like commitment of time, focus, like,
I
or do you
think
feel like you actually I feel like some people it may actually
like draw away from your focus.
or it may add to your focus. Like
I
it's
think
like
it
now
did.
I'm here. Like it's surrounding me. Whereas if you're not immersed in it, it may be easy to get distracted by some of the outside stuff because it's the maybe the regional promotion that you're fighting in doesn't encompass enough of your time.
Yeah, I actually would agree with you. And I think like, it's something I told everybody, and I say it on the podcast all the time, is like the bigger the stage, the better I'm gonna do. Right. And that's something I always believed. And as soon as, shit was happening and I'm in the interview room and I'm doing the social media shit and all this stuff, I was like, oh, I'm killing this. Right. And I could tell. And I was like, it was just like, it
Then it
was almost
becomes
like a performance where like I go out and I fight and just something different takes over. Like I felt like almost a different person. Like it just sneaked into me. I didn't feel great.
you
I just,
start enjoying it.
I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, like they were doing interviews. I was making them laugh. Like it was just fun, right? Like I was just being myself. And I think a lot of people are like, what should I be? And I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking
Do you
do
feel like
me.
there are guys who get in the ring and their performance is impacted by that run up of dealing with all the things that you just talked about, and that it makes them really uncomfortable because that's not their personality? And so that after like the weeks lead up to a fight, they're a little out of their own sorts? Or do you feel like that's not enough to get
I think
somebody at that
like
level out of there?
I think like for the most part, like the fight's the fight. Like it's separate. To me at least. I don't know. Like I don't know how another person's brain works, but for
Mhm.
me it's like separate. Now I will say the dude I was fighting, he looked nervous, but like he hadn't fought in a long ass time. So but
You could feel that.
yeah. I felt it, but I also think like, and I mean, I'm gonna try to not sound arrogant when I say this. Like, I have like a presence or an aura about me when I'm in a cage with somebody. Though typically when I'm in a cage with them, I look across from them, I like see them gulp, or like I don't take like face offs and all that shit into consideration because I
But when
think
you're
it's.
in there and it's about to go
But when we're
down,
about to physically fight, I can kind of see it, right? And I think like I present like a big presence, right? Um, and like I kind of saw it on him. He wore it a little bit more. Cam was probably the only person I ever fought that like didn't feed into it. Um,
yeah, I
but
felt like he kind of matched that
yeah, he
presence
matched it,
in
which
a
was
way.
dope. Yeah, I love that. Like that's what I want, right? And the higher level I get, the more it's going to be like that. The more people are going to match it, and it's going to be
Yeah.
more um like that. But that was like I kind of felt it, right? Um, and yeah, like, and that's another thing, right? I like the walkout. Felt like, I owned that. And, I remember it being like, no matter what, I'm fucking going to the center of the cage, put my arms up in the air. Like, no matter how I feel, 'cause
I'm
I'm
gonna
being
be
who the
me.
fuck I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, that's something a lot of people would like, oh, I'm not going to do that because it's the LFA. Like, what if I lose? Right. I was like, I'm gonna be me, right? Like I'm committed to doing it. And one of the other big things as well is like you're taking the center of the cage, right? Which I've struggled with in the past, and I did it, right? I was kind of mindless, and then the first round kicks off, and I think like I my striking, I will say like wasn't on par, but I think it was a lot of like my opponent, like I said, like I really think he was like very, very nervous, and he was just kind of like button smashing to like keep me away.
Hmm.
Um, and he got there, and eventually I shot without even knowing I shot. But like my stance was good. I was bouncy. I was in the middle, like way more than I ever am. And I think there was a lot of progress in that 45 seconds I was on my feet.
It's funny you say that because it was after the fight. We were standing in the back, and I don't remember if it was Mike or Will, but they said like the one negative thing is you didn't throw a strike for 40 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, well, also, I think they thought it was long. I thought it was longer too, because we were like, yeah, first minute and a half, and then I went back. I got to take down 40 seconds.
Yeah.
But
I don't, but real quick, like to your point though, I didn't watch that, and I don't think back on watching that and think that it was a weird 40 seconds where you seemed like you weren't
yeah,
engaged or aggressive. Like I get their point,
yeah,
but I felt like I noticed that you took the center of the octagon like right away. You
yeah,
walked forward. And I felt like you were making reads.
Yeah, yeah,
Like that's what
100%.
I perceived it as.
Yeah.
You were really making reads, and maybe I'm wrong in saying this, but the fact that the dude didn't fight in 4 years, I think makes it more difficult for you
Oh yeah, I had
because
no tape on him.
it's just like, okay, what has he been doing? And by the way, the
Yeah.
few videos that I watched of him, homeboy fucking cracks.
Yeah, he did
He
hit
hit
hard.
super hard. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you don't know what you're walking into. It's like you had a sense of how he felt. And it's like at the end of the day, you're there just to control what you can
Yeah.
control.
You know
But you
what?
still have to like get a read, like how is he going to throw his first couple of punches?
Yeah, I think that's something I kind of forgot to factor in is like I didn't have any tape, right? And we're very
Yeah.
cerebral, right? Especially
Yeah.
me and Will when it comes to striking and breaking shit down. And like we usually put together a game plan specific for the opponent. This one we didn't have the opportunity to because we had no tape. So like, that first couple seconds, like, it is what it is. And then I shot. And I didn't know. I was like I teleported to his fucking hips and I was like, oh, run. He went to throw a leg kick, and I think I naturally saw his hip switch, and I just was in there,
Hmm.
ran in the cage, finished it, ended up in kind of half guard, and I mean, he was still hitting me on bottom for a little bit. He like uh, lumped my head for a second, and then I just got to my dominant positions. I will say, as soon as I got him down, I was like, I'm gonna finish this now. Like it felt apparent that like there was a big skill gap there, which is my goal, right? I'm not gonna like striking is very like subjective, right? So if we stayed on the feet the whole time, right, he won that first 45 seconds, right? And then maybe like, we go back and forth, but all right, he might have won that round, right? If I take you down, like I probably won the round. So, it's just about winning where you can win the most, like the easiest. That's what the sport is. Finding where it is to win. And that's what I said in my interview with Gilbert and them. It's like, I'm going to figure out wherever
Hmm.
I can win. I think I'm a like true martial artist in the aspect of like a very high level jiu-jitsu, a very high level wrestling, and I'm a good striker. I'm still developing that, and I'm getting better everywhere at all times. And yeah, I think it was like apparent as soon as I got him down, it was got to
Hmm.
be over from there. But I do think if he got up, the striking exchanges would have looked better in my favor. I
Hmm.
felt that too.
Yeah, I told you, and I told this to Mike and Will. To me, you seemed very, what was the word that I used? There was no hesitation in what you did. And you really like I'm probably judging it mostly off of that shot, but it was like you seemed very you committed to what you were going to do
Yeah,
and you went.
yeah,
And that was it was really interesting. I felt like that may have been something that wasn't as sharp even in the cam fight where maybe you were
yeah,
like overthinking certain things
yeah,
and
for sure.
you were just like no. And to your point, the presence from when you walked out there, I was fucking nervous, bro.
Yeah,
Like
dude,
leading up and we're driving up there, I'm like, fuck, dude, like,
that was
is
bad.
this like this is yeah, no, he's right. Like we were just talking on the podcast about taking big opportunities, but fuck, man, like this dude's a fucking savage. He looks like he cracks, hasn't fought in a while. What's he been doing? Like, okay,
Yeah.
interesting. And then when you walked out there, I was like, oh no. Like,
Yeah, I think I eased a lot, like my family, girlfriend, like everybody when I walked out,
yeah.
um, which is cool. I honestly think like it's so weird. I was not nervous at all. Like very unnervous. I would say the thing I was the most nervous about, dude, I had this shit backstage.
Before the fight.
Dude, I had to take a dump so bad, right? And they give you this commissioner, right? And they have to go. First off, I pee a lot, right? I'm super hydrated. They have somebody following you around, right? So I got to pee. I'm like, dog, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to pee a lot. I was very upfront. So I went pee like 3 times since I got my hands wrapped. Right. And the last time I went pee, I was like, bro, here's the thing. I gotta poop. Right. This is probably 10 minutes before I fight. Right. My stomach's upset. I think I ate too much fiber, right? Because I was just down in fruit. Uh and I was like, bro, I gotta go to the bathroom. I was like, you want me to leave the door open? He's like, no, you're good. Right. And then I'm fucking just having
I thought you were going to tell me he came in there and like sat
no,
down on the
no, no,
bar.
no. He was cool. I was having my way in the bathroom 10 minutes before I fought, and literally the only thing I was thinking, I felt a lot better when I got back to the pads. But the only thing I was thinking, I was like, man, I really don't want to shit my pants go viral. But after I made the walk, dude, I can like tell you, I literally that was the thing I was most nervous about. I was not nervous at all. I'm telling you, like it was weird. But me and Will did a lot of visualization and stuff. Like he had been there before,
Hmm.
and that's something I try to look up. And when I teach wrestling mindset, I try to really implement with my kids. Like look up the venue, right? All right, you wrestle at Fargo. What's it look like? Look it up. Have you been there before? All right, you know what it's gonna, all your senses. What's it gonna smell like? What's it gonna sound like? What are the taste that you're gonna have? Which is another weird thing. Like I couldn't chew gum. Typically, if I have a competition, I chew the same gum. I choose Sweet Mint Orbit gum because it puts me in the same feeling, right? I know, there's going to be a lot of variables wherever I fight, right? But this is something that can kind of like center me, right?
Why do you think that happens?
What?
By having that visualization of the venue, of the smells, of like, I have a thought in my head as to why that benefits a fighter, but you're the sports psychology major and you're teaching this to others and you're using it. Why do you think visualizing all of that helps the performance when the time comes?
I think it just provides like a sense of familiarity, right?
But
Like,
what does that familiarity do for you?
it should ease kind of the nerves, right? And when you talk about the nerves, your fight or flight response, right? The more you're in a fight or flight response, one, it can be good, right? It can be good to have a fight or flight response, and you're gonna have it no matter what. But it also can like really, really impact your arousal levels, right? And I can go like, oh shit. Like I remember my debut, I'm walking out and I'm like on top of the world, felt like I
Mm-hmm.
was like on hard drugs, right? You're walking out and it's crazy, right? And then as soon as you get in there, you kind of crash, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to keep it kind of like even keel and level, right? It's still your arousal level is still going to go up, but you
Mm-hmm.
don't want it to spike, right? You want to just kind of stay there, stay there, stay there. Um, so I think that's what it does. It kind of keeps it more at like a constant thing rather than a big spike.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like just walking out and like being able to visualize, all right, I've been here before. I physically have been here or mentally have been here. So now I'm physically here. And it's not like, it doesn't like, oh shit, like your arousal level is not going to go up like a million times. It's just like, it's like, oh yeah, this is exactly how I thought it was going to go.
Yeah, I've always tried to think of it as like I don't want to be thinking about things for the first time when I'm trying to
Yes.
do something.
Yes.
Right. And so like you're walking out and if you never thought about what it's going to be like to have the lights or the crowd or the music or the smell, you're thinking about it for the first time, which means you're not thinking about what it is that's like that you need to be thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. A way you can kind of put it, right? If you're 16, you're getting your driver's license, right? Or
Hmm.
you're getting your temps. You guys get them you get your temps at 16 here.
Hmm.
We get ours at 15 and a half in Ohio, right? So when I get my temporary license, before I go behind the wheel, I have to pass a written exam, right? That written exam is going to talk about, what you do at a red light, what I do if I see this sign, right? Some of this stuff I've been driving for 10 plus years, I've never seen.
Hmm.
You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, but it kind of gives you all the variables, right? And it's like, all right, well, I can kind of picture myself here, right? If I get to this red light and oh, all right, 100 feet before I'm gonna put my turn signal on to get in the left lane to turn left, right? It's the same kind of concept, right?
Hmm.
There's a sense of familiarity. Like, all right, well, I know what it's going to look like. All right, I know I'm going to walk out and there's going to be a ramp that goes down. My name's going to be behind it. And, I got to see the commissioner.
Why do people push back on visualization so much? Like when
I,
you've seen some people like Connor with the Aldo fight, like literally practicing and visualizing what he was going to do.
Well, I think it's uncomfortable, right? It's not like well, okay, there's two things. One, I think it's a little bit uncomfortable, right? So I have a video of Will walking me through my visualization when I went and hit pads at 247's uh,
Mm-hmm.
venue. And it's kind of weird, right? I'm closing my eyes. I got a dude talking to me in my ear, in like a weird, like mystic voice, basically, right? It's awkward. Um, and two, there is a sense of like magic behind it, right? Or like, um, we don't really know if it works or not, right? It's like one of those things where it's like, hey, if you believe in it, I think it works more. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't believe in it, it's probably not gonna
Waste of
work.
time.
Yeah, you might as well, not do it. So I think that's why I think some people just don't believe in it, and that's why, right? It would be a waste of time. I think it has a lot of benefit, and I've, literally studied it for 4 years, so I'm big on it. Um,
Like I believe it to the level that you can actually everything's energy. So I actually think if you visualize something enough, you can almost make that reality actually happen, not just be prepared for situations.
I
I believe you can manifest shit to happen. I truly believe
I
that.
agree with I agree with
At a
that.
bare minimum, though, I think to your point, you're going to have less stress and anxiety because you're familiar. So like at
Yes.
the worst case scenario, it's not magic. You've you've calmed your brain, you've organized your thoughts, and you should be more prepared.
I also think like your just natural reactions are going to be quicker, right? If I visualize, let's say Conor McGregor, right?
Mm-hmm.
I visualize knocking a dude out with a pull
Mm-hmm.
straight left a million times, right? There's going to be like a split second faster than if you are just like never visualize things or don't think about things like that. You're just going to kind of like just a split second. That's how this fight game works. Everything's in split seconds. I'm a split second faster probably going to get to your chin before, right? Because my body's just done it so many times in my head,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those mental reps are they're reps. Your body's doing them, or your mind's basically doing the same thing. Your mind's sending it you're just not doing it physically. They're reps.
I was playing in a golf tournament randomly, which was so perfect timing, by the way, like to be playing in a golf tournament in my
Yeah,
hometown,
it's
10
great.
minutes away from where your LFA debut is. But visualization, like I had 4 or 5 holes where I'd stand over on my tee shot and I'm like, fuck, there's a road right there. Don't hit it to the road. Don't hit it to the road. And every time
You did
I
too.
would hit it it didn't matter if I'm slicing it, I would hook it to where I saw the problem because I was literally visualizing the bad thing happening.
Yeah,
And I think like that's the other side of visualization that I've seen it both work when you have positive visualization, but I've seen myself and I know other people who have focused and visualized the negative. And it's like, oh, you wonder why bad shit follows you around. It's like all you do is focus on the negative.
yeah.
It's the same thing, man.
So that's like scientifically proven, right?
Yeah.
Mike referred to it one time as the Mario Kart banana peel thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I've heard.
You see a banana peel and you drive into it.
Yeah.
And I'd never heard that reference, but that it would work because everybody understands it, right? You can visualize that.
Yeah.
Um, I throughout my entire career, especially in high school, was what you just explained. It was, I can't lose this match, right? What if I lose this match? I beat this kid last week, blah, blah, blah. And then I would kind of just unravel and I would watch myself like I was in like I was watching a movie of myself suck. And I would just be like, what the
Did you care a lot
fuck?
about what people thought of you as a kid?
I don't, yeah, yeah. I think all kids do. Maybe I did a little bit
Maybe
more.
differently than
Maybe I did
how.
a little bit more because like I got bullied a little bit when I was a young kid.
Yeah.
So I think I did care a little bit more what people thought about me. Um when I was in high school, it was like, I remember my sophomore year, I lost a big match. Um I had beat the kid the week before. I've talked about this before,
Yeah.
right? I had teched the kid the week before, literally mercy rolled him. right? But they were like, this kid is so much better than this kid. We got to stop this match, right? And then the next week, I lost to the kid, right? And then I think from then on, after my sophomore year, that was like in my head. Like I was like, that can always happen, right? So I would kind of like mentally do it. And it wasn't until I got to college where I could kind of like understand why that happened, right? And exactly what you
Mm-hmm.
just said, right? If I'm like, hey, I can't hook this ball to go into the street, I'm probably going to hook it to go in the street, right? We need to think positive. Now, the thing about that is you're going to naturally think the first thing, right? It's not your first thought that comes into your head. It's like, hey, I can't lose this match, right? You don't, if you think I wasn't like, oh man, it's my LFA debut. This dude hasn't fought in a long ass time. I've been talking a lot of shit. I got podcasts now, all this stuff. Like, if you don't think those thoughts go into my head, then you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's what are your second thoughts, right? How do I match what I said and turn it into a positive energy? Oh, I can't lose this elephant. This is my LFA debut. All right, this is an opportunity to go out and perform with some of the best people in the world, or in front of some of the best people in the world,
Mm-hmm.
right? If this kid's 4-0, I don't have any tape on him. All right, well, this kid hasn't fought in a long time. He's going to be just as nervous as I am, if not more, right? And you just match all these energies, right? And we talk about that in wrestling mindset, who I work for. Um, we call it predator versus prey thoughts, right? If I have a prey thought, right, and there's actually a little riddle that goes with it. Predator animals have their eyes in front of them. They're focused on what's in front of them. Prey animals have their eyes to the side. Think like a
Deer.
lizard, yeah, deer, right? They have their eyes
Yeah.
to the side. They're worried about what's around them. So eyes in front, ready to hunt. Eyes to the side, ready to hide. And what that means is I have to be focused on what's in front of me. I cannot be focused on the outside world, right? If I am focused on what's in front of me, then I'm going to have my best performance, or at least close
Mm-hmm.
to it. If I'm focused on what's around me, I'm not going to have good performance. I'm prey. I'm setting myself up for failure. So I think that's something that I definitely learned while competing, while studying sports psychology, and I'm really, really proud to be able to give back to um, the wrestling community, man. I started working for Wrestling Mindset again, right? And I just love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple kids that like are really high level wrestlers. I have a kid that he just started his recruiting process. Um, and it's cool, right? I remember when he signed up, it's like, "What's your dream school?" Stanford. I was like, "Word, all right." And all these kids are like that. They're all like, "I want to go to an Ivy League school. I want to go to whatever, whatever." It's
Mm-hmm.
like Stanford. Yesterday, we were supposed to have a call, and he was like, "Hey, man, I got a call with Stanford. I can't talk to you." I was like, "Let's fucking go!" Like
That's
that's
awesome.
sick. But just like being able to help these kids and just seeing it click it's something I wish I had when I was 16, but luckily, I've been put in the position where like I won, these kids respect me a little bit more than
Mm-hmm.
probably like the average person they could have
Oh,
working.
they have to.
Yeah. And like, dude, I have one kid that lives on the other side of PA. Fucking I get on FaceTime with him one time, he's got my shirt on. I was like, that's sick. But yeah, I think giving back and just like I want people to be able to perform to the best of their ability, right? And whatever that means, right? I That's one thing I'm not a super spiritual person, but I used to pray for like a win right before a fight,
Mm.
like very early on, like first couple fights. And then I heard Jon Jones, right? And he was talking about he prayed for, him and his opponent to be healthy, right? Which he might have been lying.
I think it's full shit.
Yeah, I think he's full of shit. But I had started praying for that, right? Now, in the last couple fights, I prayed for me and my opponent to fight to the best of our ability. And no matter what, the better person win. Because that's the truth. Right. I don't want to live in this like fake world where I like
Mm-hmm.
I get a win. I wasn't better than the person. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really hope we both compete to the best of our ability and the best person wins. Because I don't want to live in like this bullshit world where I sneak into, the UFC or whatever if I wasn't ready. I want to live in a world where I earned everything.
Well, and I think you're in a world where that doesn't hold up anyways.
No, it
If you
doesn't. Yeah.
you might be, let's just
You can
assume
sneak
that that
in.
kind of works and you
Yeah.
sneak in, you're gonna you're gonna find out real quick that that's
Yeah,
not the way you want to get there.
yeah, 100%. But yeah, that's why one thing is like, and I think that gives you a sense of freedom
Hmm.
too.
Yeah,
And it's like, hey, I hope we both compete to the best of our ability. And if we both compete to the best of our ability, how can I really be mad?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Speaking of Jon Jones, bro, what the fuck? Max is probably
My
laughing right
boy.
now. I still think he's going to fight. I don't. I think this is all a big part of this grand
I
negotiation.
think
But I think he's content that if he did retire, his legacy is sealed. So I think
I
he's
I think so too. I was listening to Shab talk about it, and I think he's right. I think they were like, yo, we're gonna fight. And then, they knew about whatever happened in February, and they're like, bro, we gotta make a move now. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna retire. We're gonna handle this shit. And then one thing Shop said that I think's really, really interesting is he's like, we're gonna find out.
film
Yeah,
too.
film. He did say that. But I think he said we're gonna find out how much they care about Tom Aspinall, how much they believe in Tom Aspinall in terms of who he fights next. If he fights Cyril Gahn or fucking somebody that I don't know, they don't really necessarily believe in him. But if they bring up like Pereira to heavyweight, or they sign Francis Ngannou to fight him, then they really believe in the dude, right? And I was like, that's actually very, very valid. Because I think Tom Aspinall has the potential to be like a superstar,
Yeah.
and he won't be a superstar if he's fighting Cyril Gahn.
Here's the problem, though. This is where I think Tom has a hard time ever being a superstar. And I wonder how much of this weighs into Jon Jones, too, because John's like, what is the upside? Dude's really talented, but like when it's all said and done, if he beat Jon Jones, who does he fight then? Like
That's what I'm saying.
there's nobody in the heavyweight division. So if John retires, Tom's going to fight 12, 15 times and what? 10, let's just say he fights 10 more times. Against who? What is you're going to look back and be like, yeah, Tom was really good, but he never really like he kind of dominated during a really like weak heavyweight division,
I think
which is unfair to him,
I
by
think
the
the
way,
latter part of John's career, that was the
for the light heavyweight.
for light heavyweight. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think everybody's like, all right, we beat fucking whoever,
Hmm.
right? All right, well, he hasn't done well, or he had a tough fight with like Dominic Reyes or Anthony Smith. It's like whatever. But I really think that Schaub was kind of nailed on the head, right? They could easily bump up Alex Pereira, right? That sells because like Pereira could knock him out at any point, right? And I think Tom Aspinall could also maul him. So I think like that's a way to like build Tom, right? And does Tom deserve it? Absolutely, bro. He got sat on the bench waiting for John for a while. So if you want to, do him right, you sign Francis Ngannou or you
Yeah.
bring in Pereira up a weight class. And then John probably gets more film and then can come back and fight him if he wants to.
Dude, Jon Jones is a wild dude.
Hey, man.
Still out
I'm
there.
just like, my only thing with Jon Jones is
He's got
like,
some chick in the middle of the
that
night.
girl,
She's
that's what I'm
she's
gonna say,
he's
bro.
like they're like, who's your friend? And
That's
she's
what I'm gonna
like,
say.
Bones Jones.
My
And I'm like,
only thing with John,
no,
my only
what?
thing with John is like, bro, that girl, you
Right?
risking it all for that girl? You're in jail.
Remember he wrecked the Bentley with the girls in the car?
Yeah, man. But like,
Jon Jones, what are you doing?
he needs a little bit higher standards, bro.
Yeah,
That's my issue
he's just
personally.
wild. I saw who was it Brunson
Yeah,
that he posted about how he
yeah.
was hanging out with him a lot, and
And
he
he
was
kind
like,
of
I gave
like
him some feedback. He was like, I'm looking for a
he kind of
friend, not a
checked. Yeah,
dad.
he checked them, and
And he was like, yeah.
John was like, I ain't. Yeah, and then Brunson never got to hang
I
out.
have a really good friend, and I may have told you this before. I have a really good friend, and I say it all the time. Like, personality wise, they are the same person. They
Him and
are
John.
they are the same person. Yes. They are like big heart. When he's around, like we'll have like a family barbecue and he's there. He's the one that's like making food for everybody. He's really respectful. High miss, like very like well mannered. We go out in the bars and he starts drinking. He's the first person to like look at a guy and like, why are you fucking staring at me? And then get in a fist fight with somebody.
Dude,
And it's just like you
it's
get
alcohol.
substances into this dude and he turns into a narcissistic, psychopath.
It's alcohol. I don't think I'm to that extent, but like I definitely
I
like
think
I've
most
yeah
people can go that direction, but some
yeah
people it truly triggers, and it's
yeah. I think most people are like if you were like, hey, what are the worst mistakes you've ever made in your life? And I was like, oh yeah, I was blackout drunk. Right? It's a normal thing.
yeah.
John Jones, what's the worst mistakes he's ever made in his life? Well, the only thing is his is all publicized, but he was drunk.
I
Right?
can't
Like
believe
it's
they kept
all.
it on the wraps as long as they did.
I mean,
Dude, that happened back
legally
at the
with
beginning
shit
of the
like that,
year.
especially nowadays, like unless that girl really wanted it to be out, which she probably didn't want it to be out. She's probably trying to get a civil suit so she can get some money. Um, and that's how it stays under wraps. Like,
Good relationship with the PD.
yeah, but John's got a really good relationship with the police department. That's another thing I listened to Shab. He's talking about. He's like, dude, you need to get the fuck out of Albuquerque. You gotta get out of Albuquerque. He was like, you're Joker in Gotham. Everybody knows you. You know everybody. There's no productive things that can happen in that town, right? You basically own the town. You don't know the police department. He's threatening the fucking cops. You don't think he knows the cops? You don't think he actually knows
Where's
somebody high
the
up if he's threatening the cops?
Does that then insinuate that his career's over? Because
No,
would he train somewhere other than at Jackson's?
I don't know. I mean, he could go cross train in Thailand at Bangtao, or you could go do whatever. He could not train and still go fight. He's fought for 20 years, right? He's not
Yeah,
gonna
but
forget
the
how
only
to
fight that's out there is
is
so
Tom
are you going to go
Aspinall. He
fight
needs to
Tom
train.
Aspinall
Yeah.
not under Greg Jackson in
No,
Albuquerque?
I mean, I think he could
The
still
one time?
I think he could still train there. I think Greg Jackson could also like, all right, fly in, be like, all right, John, we're putting you up. If I got to make decisions for Jon Jones, I would be like, hey, bro, we're flying you into Colorado Springs in the middle of nowhere. You're gonna like stay at Trevor Whitman's gym. Greg Jackson will come up like at the end of the week. You will train with him exclusively, and you are not to leave this. We were locking the door at 10 p.m. Right, and he would it. We don't got to do it super long. 6 weeks. Give me 6 weeks. I'm locking this door at 10 p.m. You can't screw off. Can't do anything. I also think him at heavyweight might make this worse because he doesn't have to worry about his weight.
Yeah. That's a really good point. It's a really good
He doesn't have to worry about anything, right? Like he can go fuck off all the time,
point.
right? He can do whatever he wants 2 weeks out, right? He can drink 2 weeks out.
Uh-huh. For a
So
guy that was already doing that when he was
he was doing it
really
when he had to worry about his weight. Now I'm sure it's like amplified.
What's without sharing names, is there anything that you think about now in almost your entire career, pro and amateur, where you've just been blown away by what you saw? Like somebody partying until 3 o'clock in the morning and then going out the big winter performance or anything like that?
What do you mean
Like,
before?
yeah, like prior to a fight, is there anything that's just like you hear these stories about a Jon Jones, but is there anybody that you've been around where you've been just like, I can't believe that this person he was outside smoking cigarettes and then he
You
comes
know
in
what's
and beats
funny?
somebody's ass or something?
I think the world of wrestling, there's this like stoic thing where everybody thinks everybody's you know, like lives like a priest.
Hmm.
They don't. Some of the best wrestlers are partying like all the time
Really?
in college. Oh yeah, dude. I won't name names, but like
How do they manage that with such a grueling
don't
like
know.
manage
I
your
couldn't have
weight?
done it.
Really?
Dude, I have no idea how some of these dudes pull this shit off. But it's just like you're 18 to 24 years old, right? You're gonna go have fun. But like I knew dudes that show up to matches still high. I know dudes that would like literally be out the nights before. I know like wild. They're like, hey, bro, we're grappling or we got a tournament in Fort Lauderdale. Like, fucking hey, man. Like, of course they're out the night before. It's in Fort
Yeah.
Lauderdale. They're 18 years old. It's Friday night. Um, I don't know. I think personally, because I was in the wrestling world a lot longer,
You saw more of it
I
then.
saw more of it. MMA, I think it's a little bit more buttoned up. Like our team's pretty good about it. Um, but I think there's a lot of people don't have their alcohol in check. A lot of people will like can like functionally drink beer, right? And I think that's different, right? If you're having 2 beers before dinner on like weeks out, right? And you don't have to worry about your weight super much. Me, like that's not something I can really do. But I mean, there's a lot of people that fuck off. A lot of people that fuck off. But I think, like I said when we were talking about BJ Penn, right? I think this sport attracts crazy people, right? With crazy people comes substance abuse. With substance abuse comes not giving a fuck. And it's like a little cycle of like, hey, I don't give a fuck. That's why I fight. I'm a crazy person. Here's substance abuse. It just
Just
goes to,
builds it
yeah, it just
until
makes
it
sense. They're
piles
all
out of
kind
you.
of related. And
Until you end up like the Liver King.
that shit's crazy. My brother sent me a text on it and I like looked it up on Twitter. Which Twitter also best source of news
By
for
far.
sure, by far the best source of news
By
because I'm gonna find the X-rated video
Yes.
within 20
Dude,
seconds.
I saw a guy, not to change the subject, but I saw a guy sitting on a power like a generator box. Like this is in a third world country,
Yeah,
someplace in Africa or something. He's like sitting on this power generator box and he touches a power line and then turns into dust. It's just like you just see like this arc and there's no
yeah.
more person there anymore. And I'm
See,
like,
this is why I don't.
how is
That's why I
that
don't
being shared
regular.
online?
That's why I don't regularly go on Twitter at
It
all.
was like one of those bug zappers. You know
I've
what I mean? It was like,
I go on Twitter. I use Twitter like how you were probably. I don't know. I wouldn't say how you're supposed to use social media, but I literally don't use Twitter at
at
all.
Lucas Seibert is at McDonald's.
Yeah, yeah. Dude,
I
some people like use it for everything.
I looked at some of my like very first tweets and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I use it like I after my fights, my match, I knew I was gonna get collaborative stuff. So I would like go retweet those. And then like if somebody my brothers text me and they ask about the Liver King,
Hmm.
I'm not going to Google, I'm not even going to Chat GPT, I'm not doing none of that. I'm going straight to X, I'm going to the search button, I'm typing in Liver King and I'm gonna find it within the first 10 seconds. And I'm gonna find the X-rated video, right? If I'm trying to find out about Jon Jones, I'm gonna find the video of the girl with her titties out in the car. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna get what I want, right? That's the good thing about X. You get what you want. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be this PG-13 PG version of it. I'm gonna get the facts, the cold hard facts,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna get a bunch of random people talking about it.
Fair, fair. Predictions this weekend. Big fights.
Dude, really, really big fights. I think it's underrated. I think the flyweight fights are like I'm really excited about Kaikar France and Pantoja. I'm really excited about what Dana did just say is going to be a title eliminator between Royval and what's that dude's name? Van? Yeah, Van. Royval and Van. I'm, I'm excited about them. And then obviously Topuria and Oliveira. I don't really know. I don't know. It's like a heart versus head thing. I think Topuria is going to win, unfortunately. Even though
Really?
I like him. I like Topuria. I didn't like Topuria as much until I listened to him on Joe Rogan.
I liked him a lot more after that. I
Yeah.
agree. I think Taporia wins it. I think he finishes him.
Yeah, me too.
And I think we're gonna look back and be like, oh, Charles was
A little passes.
past his prime. I think it's you watch some of his fights recently and it's easy to be like, no, no, like he still got it. I think 5 years from now, we're going to look back and this is going to be one of the fights that you're saying, oh, we started to see like markable reduction in
Yeah.
Charles. Could be wrong. Maybe he goes out and shocks
One
everybody.
thing about Charles, have you seen the pictures of him cutting weight with like
Bro, what the fuck? He was
what the
like
fuck
under
is going
blankets on a
Yeah,
Tuesday.
also he's like, yeah, it's a Tuesday and he's got all his homies around him
Like-
naked. It's fucking weird, bro.
with his big white chompers.
I like to cut weight by myself, right? And once we get to like the last couple pounds, I'm like, all right, I need somebody within the vicinity to make sure I don't die.
Mhm.
But like, I would personally rather be by myself the entire time. I absolutely would not. I would fucking because you got to know one of those motherfuckers annoying him. You got to know Ian Gary's saying some weird shit
Mhm.
and it's pissing him off. Like somebody's pissing him off. One of those blonde haired guys is like fucking making him mad, and they're all like touching him and shit. fuck that. I don't know what goes on in Brazil, but I don't want to participate in any of the sauna orgies.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I don't know. It's not
each
looking
their own.
good. I think Topuria is on a mission. I think we're
Yeah,
about ready to see some really exciting stuff from him. And I think it's a second or third round stoppage.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Knockout clean. And then what we got? Pantoja versus Kai France.
Yep.
That's a banger. I think if Kai can keep it on the feet, there's a level of danger when Kai fights. It's always going to be there. Kind of similar to like Topuria type guy, right? Where it's like, all right, he can always knock you out. He's very low to the ground.
Mhm.
But Pantoja's grappling, dude. What is it about flyweight where it's like not watched? Like it's almost like the women's divisions to me. And like no hate on it, but it's like almost a different sport where it's like when I start talking about UFC, like I kind of just skip over flyweight, which really sucks because
They're some of the most skilled and fun to
I think
watch
Pantoja
fighters.
might be one of the like if you were like who are the top five most skilled people in the UFC, he'd be
Here's
top
why.
five for me.
Here's why. Because as unfair as this is, most people who watch, like think casuals, are bigger than that. And so
Yeah,
they look at them and they say like okay, somebody watches a 45 or even a 35 or you're getting in the cage, you're back you're 100 you are a 150, 155, 160 pound person.
yeah,
Other people looking, they're like, okay, like they kind of look at that. It's almost it's like watching girls basketball. In a way, like I hate to say it, you can have a really
yeah.
good it's not as intimidating. So you have
They
to be a
think they could
fan
beat
of the
them.
sport. Of
Yeah.
course. You're like, I'm 185 pounds. Look at these little guys.
Well, I think it's weird, especially because on TV, like it's not really that apparent how small they are, right? Unless you got like,
Sure.
I think,
How many big
you know
knockouts
what
are
I
there?
think would be a
And that's
smart
what people
thing?
watch for the money.
The flyweights and the women need like a smaller referee. Like, don't throw her being.
Smaller
I'm
referee.
just
Throw in
let's
Jason
scale it.
Herzog.
Let's scale it
Jason
back.
Herzog
Let's
has to do
scale it
all the
back.
girls and little guys.
Let's scale it back because like they look tiny in there,
Okay.
right? Let's put them with a smaller ref. That might help, right? Let's
Yeah.
not throw the weight classes on there, right?
I think give
But
them
just don't put 125.
give them brass knuckles.
I think that the flyweights are like the most exciting to watch. It's the highest pace, right? There might not be knockouts as much, but like Kai France knocks people out.
He's exciting to me to watch.
He's so exciting. Pantoja is so exciting. Royval, exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Van, don't know him, but probably exciting, I would assume, if he got this far. So I think that flyweight is. I also think flyweight is like the most exciting division.
It's if you're into fighting, I agree. It's super exciting. I think it's the size, the thought of people have, and I also think it's people love the big exploding knockout.
That's probably it.
And it's like
It's not as many car
you don't
crashes.
see as much of that with that.
Yeah, it's not as many. Like, why do people watch NASCAR for the occasional crash, right? Not to watch people go really fast in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's probably the, you know,
Yeah, but
thought
I'd much
process
rather
there.
watch a highly skilled flyweight fight than like Rosenstrike and
Oh,
fucking Tai
dude, if
Tuivasa.
you told me they're doing a heavyweight versus all heavyweight card or an all flyweight card with the current UFC, I would be like, well, I'm gonna make plans the weekend of the heavyweight card.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Who else is on?
So you got the Brandon Royval and the Josh Van fight.
I like
Then
Royval. I just like his like. I haven't honestly seen him fight that much, but he seems like a cool dude.
I could see. I think Josh Van's a kind of like a Gervonta Davis type guy. I think he actually does throw heat. I'd be interested. I don't know enough about him.
Yeah, man.
And then prior to that is Benil Dariush
The old
and
boys.
Renato Moicano.
Dude, I like Money Moicano.
I do too.
He's funny.
I do too.
Luke Martin got pretty close with him at ATT.
Really?
Yeah.
Seems like a cool dude. Before that, 9-1 versus 14-1. We got Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. I think Peyton Talbot's going to be 9-2.
Does Lima know how to do a double leg?
If he learns one this week, he's going to be
You
successful.
know how they work? Peyton Talbot, like I do think his loss aged well after Garbrandt lost to that dude.
Yeah.
But he better have been doing the right stuff out of camp. I think Wellmaker already got matched, but him versus Wellmaker is the fight to make in the bantamweight division with the two prospects there. Peyton Talbot versus Wellmaker.
Yeah.
That'd be a banger.
This Peyton Talbot is the underdog, plus
I'm
155.
surprised they gave him a fight.
Yeah.
I would have thought they'd give him a bounce back fight and then have him fight somebody like Wellmaker, but
So takedown average
yeah,
1.71.
Dana don't like that Frank Ocean shit, bro.
Frank Ocean.
He
And
saw Peyton Talbot at the Diddy party and was like, we ain't playing that no more.
let's see here. We got Nico Price on the early prelims. Dude, that's a fun dude to
Old
watch
head.
fight.
That's an old head.
Yeah. And then
Who's he fighting?
he's fighting Jacoby Smith. 10-0 Jacoby Smith.
Oh, he's fighting Jacoby Smith?
Yeah. That's gonna be a banger.
No, well, Jacoby Smith's gonna fucking maul.
Dude, Nico Price it's gonna be a banger though. It's
That's
gonna
the
be a
setup fight for
fucking
Jacoby.
brawl.
Look at the odds. He's supposed to win.
Yeah, yeah. It's negative 3,000
For who?
for Jacoby Smith.
It's negative 3,000?
Yeah, Nico Price is a plus 1,000 underdog.
Okay, well, I was right, but I didn't know I was gonna be that right.
Yeah.
Holy
But
shit.
it's gonna be Nico Price is gonna go out there to fucking bang.
Yeah, he better go out there and try to make it ugly. That's his only shot.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
And then you got
Minus 3,000 in MMA is
bro.
nuts.
Vivian, got Tracy Cortez. Always a smoke show.
Yeah, I'll watch it. Just watch it fight.
And Jack Hermanson. It's kind of he's rounding out the prelims.
Prelims are a little
Weak.
but I'll watch Jacoby Smith. I like Jacoby Smith. He's a Oklahoma State wrestler, I believe. But PFL is also this weekend. We got Pittsburgh's own Dalton Rasta fighting on the semifinals of that tournament. Can you pull up that? Because I believe the bantamweight semifinals are also on it, and it's Rafion Stotts versus somebody. Oh, Pettis. Sergio Pettis versus Stotts, and Dalton Rasta is fighting. I forget the dude's name, but it goes by AJ.
Jeffrey.
Yeah,
The Canadian dude.
yeah. Dalton's making headlines, getting a lot of hate. Might be the most hated guy in MMA right now. I really think Dalton's gonna win. Dalton looks really good. Coming off his last couple fights, and I've seen him in the gym, man. He's just dialed to a different level. He's taking it very personally. It's just about him not letting that, like what we talked about, right? Like not having his level of arousal get too high because he really does not like Aaron Jeffries. And I'm excited to watch it. Real obviously always root for the Pittsburgh guy, but this is a big tournament. I think if he wins this match, he's going to be the favorite in the next one. And it's a huge opportunity for him. Little Kill Cliff versus ATT action there. So there's already a rivalry because they probably live within 10 miles of each other. So that's always fun. And then the bantamweight one, we got Rafion Stotts, who is a monster. Actually, Merab, the way Merab got signed to the UFC, Stotts was one of the biggest prospects ever, and they brought Dana White looking for a fight out there to for Stotts, and Merab's spinning back fist knocked him out in the first 10 seconds. So Stotts has been around the game for a minute, but also Sergio Pettis has been around the game for a minute. So that's gonna be a banger. I'm typically not a PFL watcher, but I will tune in for this one, and I'm excited.
Got Phil Davis is fighting.
Phil Davis, former Penn State wrestler, headlined the Bellator card that Mike Wilkins fought on.
Yeah, Sullivan Cauley.
Don't know that guy.
Me either. He's got a very interesting tattoo on his chest.
What is it?
It is a silhouette of a wrestler suplexing somebody.
Beautiful. Love that. Is it Greek? Are they naked? They're clothed.
Kind of looks. Maybe it's a guy with 4 arms and a big cock. I don't know.
It's
very
a
fucking
five
strange.
limb human.
It's strange looking.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, dude. Good fights this weekend.
Yeah, good
Very
fights
good.
this weekend. I'm excited. Excited to tune in as a fan.
Fabian Edwards fights too. Leon Edwards' younger brother.
Oh, really?
He fights
Is
in
he in
the
the?
middleweight semifinal.
Oh, so he's on the other side of
Yeah,
Rasta.
yeah, yeah. He's
Oh
fighting
shit!
Silveira, Josh Silveira.
Damn.
Don't know that guy
Okay. Hell yeah.
from Miami.
Hell yeah, man. Well, tune in. Tune into those ones.
Absolutely. So what's up? You mentioned South Dakota. Is that what you're targeting next
Yeah,
time?
dude. I'm trying to go to the beautiful state of South Dakota.
Do you have anybody in mind, or is this more just like
Whatever my management kind of says. I'm not. They want me to wait to call people out. I have tons of people in mind,
do you
but
have an idea of who's like in the mix for you based
next.
on like would it be similar names that you like you go to LFA, you're starting to talk about having this first fight. Are there people who are brought up for the first fight that don't happen that then become a possibility for the second fight, or does this win change the whole view of people that you're even considering?
That's a good question. I think we're gonna have like a similar type fight next. I guess I don't know. That's kind of what the management's thinking, and then hopefully,
Dude, you go and fucking take out another undefeated banger. Like,
yeah.
you might be getting a phone call from.
Well, I'm trying to fight one of these prospects that are like, I'm trying to not
steal somebody's thunder.
Yeah, I'm trying to not be the favorite one day here soon. I got some people in mind. I look at MMA kind of as like a draft class.
Yeah.
And throughout the country, I kind of know who's in my draft class, and I want to fight them now. But I gotta wait. I gotta be patient, right? It's a business.
Do you have any idea right now, like based on this? It's probably maybe even too soon, but like ranking wise, professionally, it's a big win in LFA at your weight class. Like, are you?
I mean, I know I'm ranked second in PA, but I think I was before I fought.
Yeah.
I think I'm like I don't know regionally. Payson brought it up. He said like top 20 in the Northeast or something.
You gotta be right.
Yeah. I don't.
I mean, it
know.
doesn't
That
really
shit's-
matter
yeah,
at
that shit's
this
kinda weird.
point, but
But yeah, man, I win this next fight. I'm sure. I don't know. I might be the dude that's ranked number one in PA is really good. He's 6-0. Christian McCauley fights for CFFC. And then we got some like there's good people out there, right? When I talk about like that draft class thing, um, I know the people that have the similar records to me that are like not non-fabricated records around the country. And I'm looking at those guys. I'm tuning in when they fight. Um, I got my eyes on them. I'm looking at their tendencies, right? I think, contender series happens and they throw a name out there and be like, all right, I have my eyes on them. Let's do it. You know what I mean? I want to be ready when that happens. Plan stays the same. Still hoping for contender series next year, unless I get in organically on a short notice. So I need to be ready. I need to have my weight down, under 155 at all times, and be ready in case my manager's like, "Yo, you're fighting in fucking Boston next week on the UFC Fight Night." The opportunities like that are realistic now, and you got to be ready.
You don't want to have to pass something like that up because you didn't play your cards right.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's exciting, man.
Sure
big,
is.
big things. Hopefully they get me on this card in South Dakota and I go out to Sioux Falls. We got some plans for some watch parties in Columbus and Pittsburgh.
Oh, I might be going out there. Well, no, Christy Nome isn't there no longer. So.
We got some. I got some like fans that are already planning on going out, which is really dope. But there will be opportunities like watch parties in Pittsburgh and Columbus for that as well. Hopefully they can get Vermont on it as well, but we'll see. Our managements are different, so I don't really know.
Well, listen, dude, it was really awesome to be able to get up there and see you. I know my two boys were like pumped.
And then
they fucking fell fast asleep after your fight.
Until I talked to dude, Ken Hendricks was asleep, and then I was like, "What's up, man?" And he just sprung right back up. He was like, "What's up, man?" good
Yes.
fight and stuff. I was like, you're
Yes.
about to fall asleep, buddy.
It remotivated them.
Hell
It
yeah, it's awesome,
remotivated them.
man.
So
It's cool. It's cool being able to like see them and see how like inspired they are, and see like took a couple pictures with kids after the fights, and it's awesome, man. It's like that's what it's about,
it's
right?
starting to change. I had to take pictures for somebody for you.
Hell yeah,
Kids are like, hey, Lucas, did you fight earlier?
yeah. The American flag, I think, helped me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, dude, absolutely.
yeah.
Keep it rolling.
Yep. Hell yeah, brother.